welcome back. Well, not back because there's been many shows on that I haven't been here. My name, I'm Ed Kavalee here. Excited to be back with you, gentlemen. Adam Peacock, I understand you got a pressing engagement we cannot keep you from.
Yeah, at some point during the next 45 minutes or so, I'm going to have to run downstairs and remove some boiling potatoes from a stove.
Good call.
And no, James Dodds, that is another metaphor for something else.
What's been going on?
Before you get in.
Just to let people in on the conversation, Adam's line to my question about that was, no, we have too many children for that.
Fair enough. That's, yeah, right. Wow. And James Dodd, always freshly turned out, for those that can't see you, that looks to be an Arsenal sort of T90 kind of scenario. Oh, yeah, that's the one.
20 years old this kid is. This was 2004-2005 season. Dennis Bergkamp on the back. Obviously, as most of my retro football gear tends to have Dennis Bergkamp on the back of it.
Did you have it at the time, or is this new? Is it recently bought?
This is, so I had this shirt. This is my shirt from that time. I have recently purchased this one, but this is a legit one. I'm not a fan of getting the kind of the remake stuff, but this is actually, it's got a few stains on it and stuff like that. But yeah, this is a proper shirt, 20 years old. So,
of course, we are brought to you by people who wonder where I am. Of course, I'm working with the Trumpet of Patriots, and just break now for an important message from our leader, Sue Ellen Wrightson.
Trumpet of Patriots will give every Australian a new deal. Labour and the jobs.
0 jobs. We'll be hearing more from Sue Ellen later on.
About halfway through, when I go down to get the potatoes, all of a sudden an ad will pop up out of that.
Special guest.
Sue Ellen.
Who can forget the fearless leader of the Trumpet of Patriots and his contribution to Australian football?
Bring it up.
Won't forget.
So, Clive Palmer is pretending he's not in charge of the Trumpet of Patriots, much like he was sort of pretending he wasn't in charge of Gold Coast United all that time ago. Where's that deep dive? Where's the four-parter on what happened there, Adam? Surely you're the man for that job. What happened at Gold Coast United with Clive Palmer?
Well, a journalistic colleague of ours, Vince Rigari, has been threatening to do something for a while. I did an article for Code Sports when I was working there that was 4,000 words in length, and it barely scratched the surface of what Clive used to do to that club, or how he ran it, I should say. And then in the end, what he did to that club. So his immortal line towards the end there, the bitter end, when he was having a massive blow-up about Frank Lowy because he wanted out, because he was sick of losing money on it, was Frank Lowy is an institution who belongs in an institution. So it's pretty ordinary stuff there from Clive.
Wow.
Anyway, football does not miss him, despite the fact that it could probably do with a bit of his investment right now.
Do you reckon, outside of election timeframes, that he would be a good guest for us to get on?
No.
Do you think people would be interested?
Oh, no, I just can't work out I just can't work it out. Like, it's like every time there's an election, all the yellow billboards go up, all the insane pieces to camera start, and you're like, what do you... I just want to go... You know what I want to do? I want to grab him by however many of his jowls I can get and go, Clive, tell us what you want, man.
I don't
just go and then go away. Just tell us what you want. Do you want it? Do you want to go to Canberra and everyone like says you're cool, or do you want to like stand up in Parliament and bore everyone to tears? Tell us what you want, so that maybe you can put some of these millions of dollars to something that's not. No, sorry, she's demanding it to have Sue Ellen. No, you can't just Sue. We spoke about this. No, Sue, you can't just Sue, don't. Sue, don't. Oh, sorry, everyone.
Zero prosperity and zero. All the coalition families, their lives.
Destroy your family as well. It's not just the kind of, you won't be better off. You will be destroyed.
Yeah, if you don't vote for us and give Clive a saloon passage to get his iron ore to China cheaply and equitably on his behalf, well, your whole existence is going to be vaporised, basically. Anyway,
I always remember at the start, when I was first getting used to his bombarding tactics during these elections, Ed, you summarised it. It was basically like lower taxes, families, bananas.
Yeah, it was just
one random thing.
He had a billboard that was out of focus. The first ever billboard that was out of focus. So they slapped it up so quickly it was out of focus. Anyway, our focus is the football. Who would like to kick off today?
Can we first, before we get into our relevant topics, and I don't know if, Ed, your topic is going to be this, but both your teams are playing in Champions League semi-finals this week. Are you sleep-deprived with excitement?
You going, James?
I messaged you this earlier on our internal communications channel. It was essentially, it's a real mix of like excitement and nerves, like that horrible kind of like, oh, I'm really looking forward to it, and then you go, oh god, it's tomorrow morning. It's that kind of, we're recording this on Tuesday evening. It's that, like, it's a massive occasion for Arsenal because they don't get to Champions League semi-finals very often. The last one was I think it's like 2008 against Manchester United, and that was like the massive hype, and that was over after like 8 minutes when Cristiano Ronaldo scored a free kick from stupid distance. So like those kind of things have been lingering. Those horrible like thoughts are just lingering there. As we're going to mess it up again. But it is excitement. It's just, I think I said this to you before, I'm going to repeat the same line that I uttered to you, Adam, before the Real Madrid game. By the time this podcast goes out, people will probably be laughing at what I'm saying now because Arsenal will be like 3-0 down from the first leg. Said that last time, they were 3-0 up from the first leg into the second. Okay. So listen, I hope they do it, but I know you've spoken before, like PSG are a different team to when we played them in the league stage, but it's a semi-final, so you got to be positive, you got to be optimistic, and I'm trying to be.
Yeah. Ed, what
about
about
you?
your,
As the host of the Stan Sports coverage of the Champions League, you've seen every minute. Is PSG the best team you've seen by a distance?
The best team with the ball. Barcelona are the most dangerous team with the ball.
God.
Arsenal are the most comfortable without the ball, and Inter are a bit of everything, as you probably know, Ed. So it's fantastic.
My one hope is that Lamine Yamal has dyed his hair, which whenever some players start feeling themselves to the point where they dye their hair, get an interesting haircut, release a rap single, debut, like Grealish has like a new headband or something like that. Whenever I see something like that, I go, oh, we're a chance. They've lost the run of themselves, and they now have dedicated their life to this, which is garbage. So we are a chance. We are a chance because Lamine Yamal is now... he's so confident that he's like, I don't even have to train. I'm just going to peroxide the hair, rock up and score 2 goals. It's one or the other.
Take the braces off. The braces done off.
I know. He looks like one of Archie's girlfriends from the comics, but I can't remember which one. It was this one with blonde hair and braces.
You are saying that in reference to the fact that he did trot out in the Copa del Rey final on the weekend with a badly peroxide, is meant to be a lot yellow,
he looks
like
more
funky
orange. Colin Miller. He looks like funky Colin Miller, and but worse. And like, that's when I saw that, I was like, yes. He's feeling himself. This is what we needed. Someone to go, I'm cool, I'm a brand. As long as I was looking on his socials, I'm desperate for him to release a crypto coin this week, because that is the moment that Paul Pogba, you can trace it back. The day that Paul Pogba launched the crypto dragons in one of the worst videos of all time, that was his career just off a cliff. Bang, down he went. His brother did whatever his brother did. He got injured. He got sued. He got done by the drugs. It was all after the crypto dragons. And this, I'm hoping, is Lamine Yamal's slide. The peroxide hair, bang, into a crypto coin.
So why, for someone who doesn't watch all Cardinals, or doesn't watch much Italian football, why have they got you feeling so about them? Because they're doing a title race,
keep losing. No, they just keep losing. Inter just keep losing now, and they're just tired. They look really tired. Like, we've got old guys, which is fine, but they just played one too many games, and our subs are terrible. Like, Arnautovic is just he's horrific. And here's the other one. It's when it's someone else's fault, guys. It's always someone else's fault when Arnautovic misses, and you just see everyone else going, so that's sneaking in.
He's the only player remaining at Inter from the most famous semi-final of Inter's rich history. They might have had some other famous ones, but this was pretty cool when Jose Mourinho went to the new camp, 13% possession, lost them out in the 28th minute, lost 1-0, but won the tie, and he ran over and just agitated everyone inside.
No, he was only pointing at the Inter fans. That's all he was doing, because the Inter fans were way up in the corner. I rewatched it yesterday, and then it was what it was. Michael Cox and someone else have got a really good 2-part podcast on it at the moment, which people listen to. It's really good. It was what it was, and he's just pointing at the Inter fans, pointing, and then Barcelona lose all credibility and forever when they turn the sprinklers on. All their garbage about being more than a club, and all their garbage about being holier than thou and better than the rest of us, and then they turn the sprinklers on Jose and the Inter players, and in one moment, the whole artifice of that nonsense club just comes crashing down around them as we see them for what they really are, you know?
Do you know, I love the fact that everybody in that stadium is spitting just there, fuming on one bite, goes, fuck it, I know what I'm going to do.
So then they're dancing in the rain, which is very good. They're all dancing in it. It's great. It's great footage. Anyway, but I don't reckon we're going to get any hope. I think we're too tired. We're falling off a cliff. Conte's. What world are we living in when the best midfielder in Serie A is a Scottish guy that Man United said weren't good enough for them? What is this? What world is this? Conte is Conte's the best. No one can. Who is a better manager than Conte? Like for instant impact and getting a response from people in a season, who is better than Conte?
Yeah, well, he walked into the perfect situation there because he knew he could put all eggs in one basket, i.e. the title race, not have to worry about European football, and he had a bit of bank to, go and get some players, and he's done very, very well.
Like Lukaku was like, yeah, okay, all right, I'll go there. McTominay was like, yeah, okay, that sounds good. He rang him himself, and then there they are. It's just, God, he's
that's
annoyingly good. But anyway,
I give Inter a chance over 2 legs.
Really?
Yes. There'll be some kind of plan, Simone Inzaghi. So Barcelona play this really high line. I think they've caught their opposition out offside 68 times this season. The thing about Lautaro Martinez and
Thuram's the fastest guy on the field, easily. He's easily faster than all their players. Easily faster. That's how I was thinking that too. I was like, our only hope is weirdly get it launched. Because Lautaro's strong and Thuram is really fast. But
I'll give him a chance. And James, I give you guys a chance against PSG.
No.
Thanks, mate. Now you're just being nice to us.
So, after he's Newcastle, the world's greatest club.
Trophy, first one in 100 years.
How good are they?
Yeah, don't care. All these Liverpool fans on the weekend banging, you're only as good as your last cup final performance.
Aren't you?
Sorry, guys.
Just on that, the Liverpool fans, the amount of pictures that I have seen, and I'm only saying this to an Australian audience, that are pretending to be crying, taking a photo of themselves celebrating a Liverpool League triumph, as if you were supporting Liverpool when they had Paul Konchesky at left back and were actually in charge. Like, come off it.
But Gary Neville said something interesting. He's like, they're big. So I'm always interested in a football fan starting now. Because no one's, they only follow players. Right, well, the Ronaldo thing's over. No one's, despite the children in Bali wearing Al Nassr shirts, there are the tourist children, that's sort of over. Like, you know what I mean? Like that sort of Ronaldo, Messi sort of hegemony of like that back and forth, that's sort of finished. So I feel like clubs are now got a chance to get the kids back involved. And I reckon this was the best. The social coming out of it, the Liverpool have done a really good job of resetting the clock on, okay, if you're coming into football, who do you want to get involved with? They've really done that well.
Liverpool got a lot of fans here in Australia by virtue of the fact that Craig Johnson, a player, attached to Liverpool. So
their highest ever attendance is
MCG.
Yeah. People, one day we're going to do a series called "What's a Real Fan?" I'm serious about this. That'll be our great legacy. And whenever people, whenever I hear, posh English pundits who, spend most of their time having to go to football. There's a leaderboard. There's a leaderboard.
He's had 2 months off and he's ready to start back.
So, it's just nice to remind them. Let's just never forget where Liverpool's highest ever attendance was, shall we? Let's not forget that.
Just to cap off Liverpool, did you see the story circulating on Twitter, actually? It was about the person who claimed to have tampered with all the red flares.
Well, okay, I'm glad you brought this up because it seems to... I've heard that in 2 separate places and said, of course, because I'm sad, I spent a long time... I think I found it. So, sorry to interrupt, but you say what the story is. I'm going to see if I can find it because I thought I found the footage. You go for it.
So, it was essentially... Somebody had put up this is what I did. And he was like... He claimed to have bought thousands of red flares. 10,000 red flares in the Merseyside area. Knowing that a lot. People would snap them up for the pre-match show when the bus arrives and everything like that, and then afterwards, and when they were soaking in the glory of having clinched the Premier League title. And there is a vision of a drone shot that Sky Sports in the UK took of when the bus is coming in, and there's all these red flares going off, and there's one blue flare that goes off.
Here we go.
Which is claimed by an Everton fan that he was the person who did this.
There were Everton fans online talking to each other. Apparently they traced it back to this one fella. But I don't know if it's true or not, but for those who are... There it is. So if you're watching this, you can see the red, the massive red, and then a blue flare goes up in the middle of it. It's an Everton fan, which is great.
I did see one person...
He would have got the shit kicked out of him.
No, but there was one person there...
Red. Yes.
Yeah, well, that's what he said.
Yeah.
But there was one person online who I saw this who got absolutely, as they say, ratioed online. He was like, "No, lad, it's purple for the away kit," like that. I thought there is no way. So one bloke's gone, "I'll tell you what, I'll get a purple flare because it's our third kit."
That's excellent. A bit of fun. All right, that's great.
Dodzy, you go first this week.
Okay, so I had a little scroll back on our off-mic chats because there was a clip that Ed asks me to translate.
Gerald Piqué, because you speak bueno Spanish.
And this was, now, for those watching online, I'll paraphrase. It was Gerard Piqué sitting down in conversation with Iker Casillas, and his idea that he had was essentially a way to stop
such a good idea.
Goalless draws being a thing in football. And he said, why are people paying 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 euros for a La Liga match? And he said upwards of 300 euros for a Champions League big time game to go and watch a 0-0. And his idea was that if it's a league game, for example, rather than the Champions League format because they can't control that, he said if it's 0-0, then both teams should get 0 points. Now, I thought, I don't personally agree with that, but at the same time, it got me thinking about something that Florentino Perez, the Real Madrid president, said a few years back now, and it was about how young fans' attention spans are shorter. We need to reduce, game time. Yeah. Essentially, it needs to be like a 60-minute match rather than a 90-minute match because kids are on their phones watching and they're browsing online. They're not paying full attention to it. And then, to bring it right up to the modern day, we've seen this launch of leagues around the world. So there was the Kings League, which is one started in Spain, which Gerard Piqué has a big share in. You've seen superstar guest players like Sergio Aguero's played in it. You've got other players. It's basically a mix of like futsal players, celebrities, and the odd, ex-pro. Yeah. Now, there's one in the UK which was launched back in March called the Baller League. Oh. Now, the Baller League was set up by... that kind of says it all. Set up in Germany, I think it was, something by Lucas Podolski was someone who had something to do with the foundation of this league. So it has 12 teams, the Baller League, guest managers. So John Terry's been a guest manager. Ian Wright was a guest manager of one of the teams the other day. Chloe Kelly, the Lionesses player, is also part and parcel of it. It's played indoors. Six aside, 12 teams in the league. So you have 12-man squads with rolling subs. 30-minute matches, 15-minute halves, obviously. No corners. 11 match days, and the final 4 go into like a playoffs at the end of the season. Right. But what it does do, so it's like your kind of Monday Night Football league, essentially. But what it does do is, a la MLS from like the 90s, if one team kicks the ball behind to give away what would be a corner 3 times, then a penalty is awarded to the other side. So it's like kind of getting rid of that sort of play.
Arsenal will be screwed.
I know, yeah. But what was interesting was, and this is what I bring it back to what you guys think about this idea, they have what they call game changers, which occur in the final 3 minutes.
It's Tony Gustafsson,
yeah, that works well for him. Game changers which occur in the final 3 minutes of each half. This is where different rules are brought into play. So I remember there was like an old advert, I think it was a betting company or a beer company had one where it was like multi-ball and all these balls come onto the pitch at once. Right, it's not quite that mad, but they have one where it gets reduced to 3 aside. So it's basically just end-to-end, 3v3. Long-range goals count as double, and goalkeepers are unable to use their hands for the final 3 minutes of the thing. And I just thought, you know what? I don't think football needs this, but my fear and my concern is that football might end up doing something really silly to try and appease people in the
2020 cricket. That's what it is. A version of.
I can't see them doing anything. It's like how sad it is that the Australian Open's trying to pretend they care about like pickleball, where you guys don't like this. Why are you pretending? And they go, we've got pickleball this time. They're separate. They'll live near each other and aside with each other. But the rubber will always hit the road when people have to pay to watch this stuff. That's where the rubber will hit the road. No one will pay to watch the Ballers League. They're not going to.
Do you think we might be in a position though where clubs diversify and clubs have a team associated, so you have like an Inter Milan team?
So, sure, why not? And also have like, a recently retired player who goes and finishes, maybe they did 1 year afterwards or whatever. But yeah, that's fair. That's, absolutely fair enough. But you're just never going to get, like Marvin Sordell, I can see is playing for one of them. And like, it's never going to be, I don't know, who's it for? Like, I say, it's for young people. But then young people will become older people and what they're going to yearn for the day. Oh, do you remember when Deportivo FC beat FC Ballers FC 6-7 at the Skibbity Toilet Arena? No one's going to care about that. That's never going to be a thing where people care enough.
If they put influencers in there, like that Speed or whatever his bloody name is.
Well, he's in one of them for their... So it's tough going, isn't it? I Show Speed.
I Show Speed.
It's a tough watch. Goodness me.
But kids love him.
Wow.
But I can see clubs investing in it as a throw at the stumps and then realising we're not making anything from here.
That's
out
right.
we go.
That's right.
I can see it being a fad, but if it takes on, like you say, James, it's your Tuesday night
sort of indoor football. Like, it's basically indoor football. If they're really being honest with themselves, it's called indoor football. You know?
Could.
Yeah.
Could. But,
so
many of these
names
things have come and gone in the States. Sorry, James. So many things have come and gone in the States like this, like indoor football, XFL, the answers to NFL, lingerie football league came and went.
And then they changed it, but they changed the name.
Clive Palmer, bring it back.
They changed the name to LFC or something to try and pretend that it wasn't.
So it's until they realise that there's no revenue in it.
That's what I mean. Yes, until there's they got a lot of sponsors at the moment. Like, Nike's got their name on it. I guess they're all having a punt each way, going just in case this is the thing that kids like. We better stay involved until
it's not a big risk.
No, but I do think what they've done is it's kind of young people marketing, isn't it? I mean, they've done very well to launch this kind of...
It's got to be brands. It does. Yeah,
but look at the people who are associated with it in terms of like the managers. Right, so I list off so John Terry manages one of the teams.
He's not a hero. He's not the hero of the youth, is he, John Terry?
No, well, no, but there'll be a certain age group for my age group, for example, and somebody's about to turn 36. Like that would be, and then
he's
you look
playing. Who cares what he thinks?
No. But I think there might be a guest player. But you've got like Alan Shearer, Michael Richards, and Gary Lineker.
Are they playing?
Team. I think there's like guest stints available.
No, but does Alan Shearer go out and play?
He can't run.
Well, then then who cares? If they're just standing there looking at it, who cares?
Jens Lehmann, Robert Perez, Freddie Ljungberg.
Are those playing?
Two of those can play, yeah.
Okay, well, that's more like it.
Which is good.
That'd be enjoyable.
Luis Figo, guest managing Treble FC.
Yes, how do you care about managing? Guest managing, that's like professional wrestling. You might as well get Billy Ray Cyrus to manage. Who?
Managed by Alicia Lehmann and Maya Jama.
Who's that? What's that about?
I mean, there'd be a lot of people that would pay to watch those people play outside of Alicia Lehmann, play for Juventus. But I just thought it was very interesting about this trend of what we're kind of feels like we're going down that path of people trying, like you said, Adam, to piggyback off the back of pickleball and paddle and things like that.
I think T20
wonder
is
how
the
long
best
it'd be.
analogy for it. It's indoor T20 soccer. Yeah, fair enough.
My potatoes are...
Yeah, you go on potato.
Back in 1 minute.
Please. Now pause for a potato break. Well, right. Okay, so, what we're going to wait for Adam comes back with his potatoes, but, I know that there's...
This is where our special guest joins us, isn't it, for today, for the whether we like it or not.
No.
Cost of living. China has become a manufacturing superpower on the back of Australian iron ore.
Oh, iron ore. Okay.
I
get it too.
China continued to build 750 coal-fired power stations to dominate markets in Europe.
Yeah.
This is when we're going to get targeted ads that are going to say lower taxes, families first, lingerie football.
They're claiming on your breakfast. They're claiming on their website, the Trumpet website, that video has had 6.6 million views. There is no way. How have they done that? Their real trick, the Trumpets, is they need to tell me how they've gamed the system to get that many views on YouTube. How have they done that?
We've just added a fair few, to be fair.
But every video has over 4 million views, but then when she goes on Sky News and it gets less than 20,000. There's no way that's happening. How are they doing it? Trumpets?
Bulgarian bot farms.
Well,
bot farms.
That's why the ROWZ FC metrics have gone through the roof.
Pure beauty. Love Bulgaria.
But also, so I would like to invite the Trumpets bot farm, to join our cause. All right, Mr. Peacock, what's going on?
League One football.
Oh, yes, please.
Is it still romantic, given the fact that Birmingham City have won the league by 107 points. I think they've got 105 points as we sit here right now. They're owned by a US hedge fund manager and Tom Wagner, and there's a little slice owned by Mr. America himself, Tom Brady.
Oh, sorry. Oh, no. Sue, sorry. She's just dropped a new video. I've got notifications. Yeah, so Tom Brady's involved.
I do find it interesting. I mentioned hedge fund, and all of a sudden Sue Ellen got involved.
Sue's, I get it.
Also, Sue Ellen. Sue Ellen.
It's one word. Sue Ellen.
That's AI.
Sue Ellen.
Oh, really? She's AI. Yeah, Sue. Not my Sue. Yeah, so Birmingham are owned by a hedge fund, yeah.
Yep, and Tom Brady. In the preseason, they broke the record, the all-time record for the third division in terms of a transfer in £15 million for Jay Stansfield, a young player that was there already on loan, but they bought him from, I think, Fulham. They got Chris Davies. They did have Wayne Rooney last season. This was the club that sacked their impending manager, whose name escapes me right now, for Wayne Rooney, and everyone blew up because the old guy was doing good.
Gary Rowett? Was it Gary Rowett was there? No.
Someone else. And Wayne sent them hurtling towards the bottom of the division.
Yes.
They went and got Andrew's assistant, Chris Davies, and he's led them to glory with a very good squad. So Birmingham through, romantic, like just US hedge fund, all you think is just mums and dads getting involved in football clubs and telling their children, little Tommy, they're owned by a hedge fund, let's support them. They're the battlers. And Wrexham. So we all know Wrexham.
Yeah.
Have you got into did you get into the doco at all, either of you two?
I think I watched a couple of episodes.
The series?
Yeah, I don't think it's for people who like football. It's like
yes,
it's like Ted Lasso. It's the two main. What I find interesting is the two major football content pieces in the world. Neither of them seem to be for people who like football.
Yes, which when you think about it is pretty much Drive to Survive, and it's worked for Formula One. Yeah, it's worked here as well.
Outside of the people who are rusted on like us.
Yeah. Wrexham's now. I've heard rumours they're coming down here to play Melbourne Victory at the MCG in a pre-season tour match.
But if the owners aren't there, who cares? Like, I don't
exactly.
care. I couldn't. I know Jay Rodriguez is there and
Stephen Fletcher, who I didn't realise was still playing football, but Stephen Fletcher's there.
James McLean,
Sunderland legend.
Yeah. So I realised that's what.
Well, that is how Rob McElhenney, the guy who drove all of this, the guy who's the actor, he was actually in COVID watching Sunderland Till I Die, which I maintain on Netflix is the best comedy.
It is
on Netflix.
It is the best show.
It's good. Unreal. That's why he thought, I'm going to get involved in one of these football clubs and see what I can do with it.
And there was a writer. One of his writers was from Wales. Yes. That guy who's very interesting when you hear him speak. His name I can't remember. Sorry about to him. He's a very funny guy and it's very interesting when he speaks. That's the best content in this whole thing is when that dude, who was a fan, had talked these guys or showed them how about Wrexham. He's great. Sorry, I'm forgetting his name, but he's great.
Ryan Reynolds, of course, he's involved and he's front and centre. Channing Tatum's bought in, apparently. Eva Longoria's bought in. She owns she's invested in a few sporting teams. But anyway, Wrexham on the weekend, and I love this, because it's still, like I say in jest, that it's a romantic story. It's not really a romantic story. It's a new football story.
Yeah.
But still at the heart of the club is football culture, because they went and confirmed their status for the championship next season by beating Charlton at home. But before the game, Nathan Jones, the manager of Charlton, says, we've got to go up to Wrexham and see what that circus is like, etc. Deriding the club. As this result got closer and closer to its conclusion and confirmation on the weekend, all the Wrexham fans were heard to be yelling, "You've seen the circus, now fuck off. You've seen the circus, now fuck off."
They're fun.
To Nathan Jones. So that to me tells me that they're still
in there. There's still good in there. It's like Anakin Skywalker. There's still good in there. You know, Darth Vader. There's still some good in there. But I was thinking about it too. I was like, because I don't really, I've watched a little bit of Welcome to Wrexham. Didn't really take to it. And I thought if I was a Wrexham fan, I was just watching the Wrexham fans. Just watching the people who sort of live in the town, around the town, etc. They are beside themselves. And so I'm like, you know what? Good. If they're happy, great. But they're not. Can they? Do you guys? Let's make a prediction now. Do they get to the Premier League next year?
No, because I think golf. Listen, the money that they can obtain by virtue of the fact that they are this Disney TV series, rather than necessarily being recouping money from transfers and whatnot like that. Like they'll have more firepower financially than a lot of the teams in the Championship will. But then it just depends whether they have the players to do that, because you're going to get the big three that come down from the Premier League who are going to have parachute payments and way more money than everybody else. There's some already massive clubs in that division.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's a big step. I think everybody already says that. I don't know if you've heard this as well, but when I was working with players who bounced around the leagues, they always said there isn't an enormous difference between some of the better teams in the Conference League, so like the National League, the first semi-professional step, to League One.
Okay.
Like some of the good teams you see often, they do go up and then they go up again. Whereas I think this gap will be the real making of them.
Well, Birmingham are probably a better chance because of the hedge fund. And they've already got plans for a 60,000 seat stadium in Birmingham. The owners have bought some land there.
But that's mental. They will never feel that.
One thing about Birmingham, I'd be amazed at that 60,000 seat stadium. Hopefully there's not government money going, local government money going. Because have you seen what's happening in Birmingham in the streets?
Well, yeah. But that's ridiculous.
Are the Garbos still on strike?
Yes, that was the thing. There was just like piles of rubbish everywhere while they were celebrating.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Been on strike for 20 years now, I'm joking. But the 60,000 seat, there's obviously more, the motives that, play for them aren't football related, right? It's about owning the land and whatnot and selling off and having the assets, because there's no way Birmingham City fills 60,000 seats in that stadium. Not a chance.
Beyonce then have to go there? That's what they always say. Whenever someone builds a stadium, they go, we're going to have concerts. And then you go, yeah, cool. But Beyonce can't play in Birmingham every week. Like, who else? What's the most famous band ever from Birmingham? Come on. I'll find
UB40? Would they be up there?
Via Kingston. Famous bands from Birmingham is the first thing that comes up when you put in the phrase famous bands. So they obviously...
Because you Google microphones on.
Oh, actually, do you know what? Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Suella.
Suella. All right, here we go. Oh, wow. No, I stand corrected. Because the answer could be everybody. Ready? Here are famous bands from Birmingham.
Yes. What?
Duran Duran?
Yeah. So...
Yeah, okay. Hey, Mona. Yeah, that's a good list. That's a good list.
Well, that's enough, isn't it? Hello? So, Fine Young Cannibals, geez, they got a lot to answer for this joint, don't they? My goodness. I'll tell you what, the garbage men certainly haven't been... garbage men have been booking the venues, as far as I can tell.
One thing about the championship, I haven't actually checked it. I checked on the weekend. Millwall are still a chance to make the playoffs, aren't they? To get into the Premier League?
Yeah. Now you're talking.
We're talking football romance.
Now, we need a bad guy. How badly does football need a bad guy at the moment? Football needs a non-gendered villain. Football needs a non-gendered villain so badly.
A bad they, them, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bad they, them so badly.
Yeah.
Because everyone's just a good news story or a hedge fund. We just need good old-fashioned villains. Yeah, they're seventh. And they're only...
They're level on points with
level with Coventry.
Frank Lampard's Coventry.
Final round of the season.
Yes.
Millwall, as they like to be known, are away at Burnley.
Yep.
But Burnley would have been on the piss.
They're on the beach, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Coventry at home to Middlesbrough.
Who themselves are still a chance of making it. Middlesbrough and Blackburn are a chance of making that sixth spot as well.
Yeah. So Blackburn are away at Sheffield United.
Oh.
But yeah,
tell you what,
Millwall in the Premier League.
What a day! So I'm going to finish the show today with some inside information I have about Andrew's Andrew's next destination. So this is some information that's come to me.
Yeah. What if he's Bodo Glimt?
Well, sadly, it's not going well for Ange. Rumours are that he'll be either joining Team Kelly on The Voice, assistant manager of the YouTube All Stars 11, where he's planning to have a front line of Sketch, Mr. Beat, and Chunks, spelt with a Z.
Who's manager if he's assistant?
It's the girls from Two Girls One Cup.
Okay. I've heard that league. That's where Pussy Riot have got a team in that league as well, haven't they?
Pussy Riot, jeez. No. So, and...
Nearly.
I finished with a quiz.
Yes.
Name this club. In the most amazing...
race
week for a club. Oh, don't get triggered by that. It's a Nam flashback. So
36 minutes in, Adam.
The Nam, being in Nam. All right, name this club. Buzz in with your name. In 1 week, in the same week, their most famous fan ever passed away, and their club president has to step aside because a video emerged of them allegedly receiving cash for allegedly signing a player.
So the most famous fan is the Pope.
Mm-hmm. You got it.
And the bloke, I saw the video, the bloke pocketed a big wad of cash in some cafe. Is it Estudiantes?
San Lorenzo.
You got it.
San Lorenzo.
How is that for a week?
I will point out, just as a follow-on from your wonderful trivia question, that every time a pope, either an actual current pope or a former pope, has passed away, the last 4 to pass away, an English club has won the Champions League.
Yes, I knew. Damn it, you ruined my last question.
Sorry.
No, that's all right, because I was stealing that from either the Totally Football Show or the Guardian Football Weekly. Can't remember. So good luck to whoever that was. They're both great. You're both good fun listens. But
sorry
yes, I was going to say one of those. I forgot to write down. But sorry to them. But go and listen to those shows. Have a look at that photograph. Look at the photograph.
Why is it perfectly photographed that he's taking the money? It's not like it's surveillance or anything.
For those that can't see it, he's got an overhand grab of what appears to be money and then straight into what can only be described as his pocket, which he described as a donation.
Right. From the kids, from a youth team player's mum. Where's she getting 25 grand from?
Well, and on that note, we're back on YouTube, so you'll see all this. Okay, who have you guys got as Pope? Who do you think is who do you think's going to be the next Pope?
Francesco Totti.
No, come on. Yeah. Who have you got?
I'm going to go for a smoky. I'm going to go for the I think it's the Filipino candidate.
Are you really?
Who I just saw described in an article the other day as the Asian Francis. I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can get away with saying that, but yeah.
Oh my mate.
Is that like when you watch the Cambodian League and you go, "Here's the Phnom Penh Messi"?
I've got an absolute packet of lira on Pietro Battista Pizzaballa at 8-1.
8-1.
Yeah. Just on the Pope discussion. Now, I think this is legit. It came from Tim Vickery, who's
I love
South
Tim
American.
Vickery. Yeah.
So Tim, you mentioned about the Pope being a San Lorenzo fan.
Yeah.
So apparently, when he was a priest, he would go into the change room and bless the players and stuff before games. And his supporters card ID number was 88235. When the Pope died, he was 88 and he died at 2:35 in the morning.
Shut up. Does that count as one of his miracles? He only needs one more to become a saint. That is
crazy, isn't it?
You've done really well there. Although there is a lot of late money coming for
Sue Ellen. She's bought away.
Can you imagine? Gospel according to iron ore. All right. Thank you so much. Great to be back. And follow us on the socials. And if you didn't see our Matty Ryan episode, that's up on YouTube. Fantastic chat, you two, with that legend. What it was so interesting, him talking about the club, those situations he's had where he's gone to clubs and basically not been welcomed by teammates. That was very, very interesting. So
no real difference to working in the media, though, Ed.
Oh, I tell you what. Big shout out. Are you on Triple M now?
Maybe.
Yeah, I saw that. That's very good.
Well, you can't say maybe. We're on Instagram. That's a bit of fun.
I'm on Friday Arvos. It's basically when Nathan Highmarsh can't make it because he's got to, drench his cows or something like that.
Yeah, so that's the rush hour in New South Wales, also on your podcast, Mr. Peacock. That's great news. All right, we'll be listening and we'll catch you next episode.
Beautiful.